just like the pavement. Next. So our research next. Just like Prof said earlier on, these are the types of pavements that we can have on our roads, on general surfaces. We have the rigid side that could be of this. Most of these could be found in the industries. You get to factories where heavy trucks are moving, you can see that one. And then the flexible one and just the common one on our roads. So if you go to factory, you never see the bitumen there. You see something like cement. And that is the light that's being used in this Obajana side now. So that one is mixed. Then the flexible one is just the common one we have there. Then we now have the composite pavement. That one could be mixed with any other thing, satisfying the purpose. So it could be countries that are temperate, where contraction and expansion due to snow might be necessary. So the materials embedded in it will allow that. And it's no strange thing, particularly in Nigeria, to see things like this on our roads. So it's just like part of Nigeria. So of course, some of our professors here that have been to other countries, they may bear witness that maybe slight of that. So it has to do with the material. So these are the types of defects and failure that we can see on our roads. Generally, some of us will call them potholes, and then most times we do not even notice they are there. But I bet you by the time you move to the Lautech main express, our campus, you will see between every 5 meters, you're going to see some of these there. Next. So similarly, just like we have, it's going to start like that. Now we know that the bitumen is a continuous material. Then after paving, you now have these defects. What could lead to that? What could lead to that? And as a result of, just like Prof said, a result of pressure moving out and there, then weather. So there's going to be rainfall and the rest like that, the sunshine, and it goes on. So a lot of it, we can now have series that, in fact, most of you must have seen some, I've not seen in some places. Next. So he has described bitumen earlier on, so I won't waste too much time on the academic section. It's a sticky material, generally it's black. So sometimes in the olden days, people are very conversant with it, they call it a coal tar, something like that. So it's very sticky. But just like you said, the sticky thing cannot just be used on the pavement. It needs to be added to some things to improve the property. But however, the primary use of bitumen is in the production of bituminous mixture for surfacing and then base construction of road pavements. He has already put us through this. What we want to celebrate here is that Nigeria ranks in one of the countries that has the highest deposit of bitumen. And all these belts that you could see are even not yet explored. We have Nigerian bitumen industry, something like that. The government commissioned it over and over and over, but they've not been functioning. You may need to know that some bitumen are also imported for road pavements. So this is beneath the soil of all these states. That's why we are looking at the oil. So there's another virgin opportunity for this. So the commercial exploration has not commenced, making Nigeria to depend on importation, like I said earlier. Next. So the aim of our study is to modify this Agbabu natural bitumen. Actually, we always say Nigerian bitumen is Agbabu natural bitumen, but within those deposit field, we have other towns that name, or the general popular name is to call it Agbabu natural bitumen. So with nanoparticles sensitized from all these Agrowaste ashes, just like Prof explained earlier. And then now, most people have generally worked on the improvement of bitumen. They had a polymeric material to it, they had different things to it. But the chemistry instinct of our professors look at it that, look, if all these materials are there, what instigates the crack? It could be that oxidation is what is happening there. So if you have plastics, then you put it in the sun for a longer time, maybe the one you use for collecting water, then you see the color change, becoming white. Then one day you want to lift it, then you see it becomes like biscuit. That's exactly what is happening. But you know, originally the plastic was flexible. So we want the bitumen to be that flexible, to contain a lot of, to withstand a lot of resistance. So the antioxidant potential is what is our target there. So if we are able to improve the antioxidant potential, then we wish that it's going to improve. And I need to say this, that was the selling point for winning the grant. Nobody has ever thought this way, and us the win. Okay, next. All right. So these are the procedures for us to achieve that. So we're going to collect the raw materials, and our targeted raw materials include the rice husk. Now that Nigeria is fully into production of rice, we know that one of the wastes that will be generated beyond expectation now will now be the rice husk. For sure, the agriculturists amongst us will say that we use the rice husk for feed. We know, but you cannot just consume it. And then the company will not wait for you to come out. So there will be a time that will be a surplus. And some of the companies also hash them just to generate power and the rest like that. So we plug into that, that will be. Then sugarcane baggers, we all know. But if I can ask, virtually nobody knows the usefulness of that sugarcane baggers. After chewing the sugarcane, then you just, so we plug into that. That's in countries or let's say in states or towns where these are well distributed, there's going to be a heap of that. So we also targeted that. And then the wheat straw is one of the 3 materials we targeted based on our previous study. So the other material that we're going to use basically will be the natural bitumen. However, we're going to collect some other materials, some other samples from other places. What are we going to do? We are going to extract we're going to quantify the antioxidant content of those materials. Our preliminary studies that they've done, they are good, but we're going to try. Then we hash them. After hashing them, we're going to synthesize our nanoparticles from those hashes. From our technical partners or for the expertise that we learned from the nano group, so we are also incorporating that to that. So we thank them for that. So the processing of the natural bitumen, now the samples we're going to collect, we're going to characterize for the physical, mechanical, as well as the biological property. So then we're going to form our nanocomposite with the natural bitumen now. And then the antioxidant we're now going to incorporate into it. So when the antioxidant is there, the oxidation from the sun, let's say the ozone and the rest like that, when they come, there should be something that we're supposed to fight to mitigate against it. And then all these processes will be optimized, all the factors involved will be optimized in order for us to get the best condition that can produce it. So after that, we are now the new modified material now that we produce, we are now going to characterize it to show that there has been an improvement from the raw one, and to show again that it can fit for future use. So based on that, we are now going to go for all these tests now, aging test simulation. Of course, pavements cannot be done in another 10 years in some towns. In fact, in another 20 years, it might take. This popular one that we made when we were young, they call it Shinabole, by the Sonebonel companies. That was, we learned it was 1972. So the first time I learned it was improved was when former president, head of state, Babangida was coming. They passed through a promotion. The thing was relayed until recent time. So it then means that all this, with the amount that the government is going to invest in it, it cannot be done in 20 years, cannot be done in 50 years. But the one we are going to produce, we can also not just give it to government and say, in 20 years, come and tell us if it failed. We have to simulate it in the lab to predict, can it stand 20 years, can it stand 50 years, and the rest of that. So that's what is going to take us through this. And then we now have the international standards. We now mark it in it. We hope, we are, from our laboratory preliminary studies, we are very sure that we're going to be better and be better than that. So that's all about our methodology. Hopefully, you will assist us to achieve our aim. So these are the project goals. We have our short-term goals and then we have our long-term goals. Our short-term goals is to produce nanoparticles from those things. Our long-term goals is to see that those agro-wastes are packed from the environment for something useful. And it goes on like that. Last but not least, we aim to train master students. The least we can have, that must be 3 master students. Of course, we're going to have more postgraduate students that will benefit from it. And then we're going to divert government attention towards exploration of bitumen now So if at all the bitumen is being processed in Nigeria, the quality of the one we can export will be different after being modified with our material mixed. And then dissemination processes, we're going to disseminate through scientific conferences, and then we're going to publish in the review international journals, and then we're going to have a patent. Because when we have a patent, that's what will give the university a better chance of leveraging with the industry. So when the industry comes to Lautech now, we're just going to hand over our patent. We can ask them to use it for 20 years, and then they pay us huge amount. Not only our research group, but the university, because the patent will be hosted by the university. So all research communication will be acknowledged, so the Tetfund will be acknowledged. Then other means will be on Twitter, social media, to tell the world that we've achieved this much. And then next please.